Welcome to the video, guys. We're just going to do a quick off-the-cuff video here because I want to give you some insights on an idea that I think a lot of people get confused. And this is the idea of confidence versus ego. And I see people use these words interchangeably quite often. And I think that's a very dangerous thing to do. Because if you actually think ego is the same thing as confidence, you're going to be shooting yourself in the foot because you may go out there doing things that you know are from an egoic place thinking that's actually a very, very good thing. But there's a huge difference between someone who is a confident player, a confident person, versus an egoic, arrogant type person. Whenever I make a video like this, a lot of people go like, well, how do you explain Zlatan Ibrahimovic? How do you explain Cristiano Ronaldo? These guys are arrogant and egoic. They're not, guys. They are actually very, very confident. And again, we're going to go over why these guys are confident while other people who you might think are the same are actually very egoic. There's something that makes Zlatan and Ronaldo, for example, confident instead of arrogant. And so we're going to explain the two. You see, ego and arrogance comes from a place of insecurity. It comes from a place of lack of belief, but a need to appear you're a certain way. It comes from a place of entitlement. And that's the key word I want to use here. Ego usually equals entitlement. An egoic type person, and I know you've played with a player like this, I know you know someone like this or have known someone like this. An egoic person is the kind of person who believes they deserve to be a certain way, deserve to be this good or that good without anything to back it up. It's entitlement. Like, I should just get this without any work. I am this good without having put anything out in the background. And again, we've all played with players like that who were so egoic, who it seemed like they were confident in themselves, but they never did anything. They weren't really performing that well, and they had this entitled attitude about themselves. Have you ever noticed that players like that as well actually tend to be fairly lazy? They're not the guys staying after training and doing extra work. They're not the ones doing individual training every single day. They're not the ones that are doing, leaving no stone unturned to get to the level they want. They're really just all lip service. They're really just going around saying, I'm the best or whatever else it is without putting in the work. They're more concerned with an image They're more concerned with an image than they are with the actual performance or actually doing the work in the background. So keep that in mind. Ego equals entitlement. So if ego equals entitlement, what does confidence equal? And confidence simply equals faith or belief in your ability. And faith or belief in your ability doesn't just come out of thin air, guys. It comes out of work you've done in the background. Not just the physical work, but the work you've actually done on your mentality. And if you look at players like Zlatan and Ronaldo, who have been considered some of the most egoic players because they talk about how good they are, these are guys who put in so much work in the background. Zlatan goes over how good he is all the time, but you look at some of the things he does and you go, yeah, he is really freaking good. He's proven it time and time again. He's not just saying that with no evidence. He's not just saying that having not put the work in the background. Same with Ronaldo. He is famously someone who has trained more than almost everyone else. He pays attention to every single nuance, including recovery, including how he works on his body. I saw a report one time that he does like 6 hours of individual training, not just training, but like recovery, everything, every single day. And it's not an accident that 35 years old, Ronaldo is still close to the top of the game, being one of the most important players for Juventus. That does not happen by accident. It does not happen through, like a lot of people like to say, genetics. Maybe that plays a little bit of a part of it. But you don't have the body of a 24-year-old prime athlete, as the Juventus doctor said of Ronaldo when he came to get his physical, by accident. He does that because he has that because he does all of these different things in the background, which gives him that faith and confidence in his ability. And so it's not coming from an entitlement place. Ronaldo knows that he deserves everything that he has so far earned, everything that he has so far done. Same with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Up until his injury at Manchester United at like the age of 37 or so, I can't remember how old he was, he was in just like amazing shape, and he still is, to be fair, but he was just playing still like this high-level player at an age where most players have already retired. And again, there's only one way that happens. He was doing a ton of stuff in the background. Again, on his belief systems, on his body, on his recovery, all of these different things. He came back from that knee injury, I think, way beyond schedule. And I think the person who did the surgery on his knee said, I've never seen anyone's body like Zlatan. It's like steel. Like it's just like incredible. And I can't remember the exact quote, but you can go look it up, where the surgeon goes, I want to study Zlatan after he retires because it's incredible just how strong his body is, like how strong his bones are, or something like that. I can't remember the exact quote, but again, you can look that up. Just look up like the surgeon who did surgery on his knee when he injured himself. But the point is, they've done so much in the background that they don't need to come from a place of feeling entitled. They feel deserving of the things that they've achieved. They feel deserving of their confidence. They believe in themselves because they've shown that they're willing to put in the work. They've done the stuff in the background. Now, there's a reason I'm telling you all this, because most people fall into the egoic category and not the confident category. Why? It's a lot easier to be egoic. It's a lot easier to do nothing yet expect everything than to actually go out and do everything and be humble and be thankful when the things come your way. I never have an issue with a player who is obviously putting a lot of work in the background being confident and saying he's a good player. Usually you'll also find that these players always say something along the lines of, I could be better, I'm always working to get better. Like, you'll rarely find a player that's really confident go like, I'm the best, like there's nothing else I can learn. There's nothing else I can do. Even Messi, not that long ago, said, there are many things I need to work on. Like, for example, I want to become as good at shooting with my right foot as I am my left. And that is the sign of a confident player who also has that level of humility to keep going. And so do not fall into the ego trap. Stop saying things like, oh, well, egoic is like Zlatan Ibrahimovic. How do you explain him? He's not. He's not the same as most people who are walking around being very egoic. That's holding them back. Again, ego equals entitlement. Confidence equals faith, belief, and having done what, working hard in the background while no one else is watching. Ego likes to be out in the limelight, doing lip service, saying how good they are, without doing the stuff in the background that is required to be that good. All right. And so the reason, again, I tell this to you guys is because I've fallen for this trap when I was younger. I see so many players who have potential fall for this trap. You can even see professional players that fall for this trap. You ever seen like a wonder kid, for example? They came out of nowhere, they were so good, and then it just kind of vanished from the face of the earth. There might be a lot going on, but sometimes it comes down to a lack of humility and a lot of ego going on, where they already think they're the best, that they don't need to really keep working at it. They're not going to keep doing the things that got them to be successful in the first place, and they fall from grace. And they never reach the heights they once did, maybe when they were a young player. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. A bit of a rant, but it's something I'm very passionate about. Again, you don't want ego, you want confidence, and confidence is built. You don't just have confidence, you build it like any other skill. All right. If you really want to take your confidence to the next level, check out my course, Complete Soccer Confidence, down below, where we teach you how to do this, how to remove that egoic side and move more into this confident side. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.